what I wrote here, if what's the same? If M1 and M2 are the same, right? If M1 equals M2, okay? That's it. If I give you two lines, you have to look at the slopes, right? And compare them. And if they're the same, you can tell me they're parallel, right? Understand how this notation? Okay, now let's talk about two lines. Perpendicular. Two lines are perpendicular. I'm just going to put perp, okay? Is that all right? I don't want to have to write the whole word. Two lines are perpendicular if, so we never talked about this, like in terms of like how you describe it, but how would you describe it to me if I'm trying to talk about two perpendicular lines? Corwin? Corwin here? Yes. Hey, there you are. Corwin? If you were trying to explain to somebody what two perpendicular lines are, how would you explain it? They intersect, right? Okay, so you mean this? Do these hit each other? Those intersect, right? Is that perpendicular? It makes a T. Okay, so intersecting isn't quite enough, right? We need it to be like a perfect T, right? Like this. That's perpendicular. Not perpendicular. That's called skew. Perpendicular, right? So two lines are perpendicular if they form like a T, right? And we call this a 90-degree angle. Okay, we're not going to study angles in here, but that's a 90-degree angle when they hit at a perfect cross. All right, or perfect T. All right, good. All right. Now, how do you think if I give you two lines, one of them has a slope of M1 and the other one has a slope of M2, we already said that if those two are the same, we've got parallel. What do you think the relationship is between those if they're perpendicular? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're the same numbers, they're parallel lines. But what do you think the relationship has to be between M1 and M2 in order for us to conclude that we've got perpendicular lines? What do you think? Just take a shot at it. Opposite? That's a good guess. Like if one of them is maybe 4, the other one might be -4. That seem reasonable? Reasonable? It's close, but not quite. It's almost that, okay? So here's what we've got. Given two lines, same thing. L1 is y equals m1x plus b, and L2 is y equals m2x plus b. Then we will say that L1 is perpendicular to L2. That's the notation we use for perpendicular. So these two lines like that is parallel. This means L1 is perpendicular to L2 if it is not that they are equal, and it's not quite that they're opposites. They have this relationship. When I write it down here, you'll be like, what? If M1 is equal to -1 over M2. Now, that's usually very confusing for students to understand. It's very simple once I explain it to you, okay? What this really means is that these numbers, this right here really means that M1 and M2 are negative reciprocals. All right, so that still confuses students. So let me explain to you what a negative reciprocal is, all right? If I explain to you what a negative reciprocal is, once you see it, I think you'll be like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be, all right? Now, I'm going to try and squeeze it in here, all right? So what does negative reciprocal mean? Examples of this? Okay, let's say that M1 was 4, okay? Then to be perpendicular, I would need M2 to be the opposite in sign of this. So since that's 4, it'd have to be -4. But then I'd have to do the reciprocal and make it 1 over -4. these two slopes would give you perpendicular lines. Let me give you another example. Let's say I had m1 was equal to -2/5. In order to be perpendicular, what would m2 have to be? Anyone? It would have to be positive, right? First of all, because this one's negative, so it would have to be the opposite in sign, and then flip it. So 5/2. Exactly. See? It's just whatever this is written as a fraction, flip it over and change the sign. You can see that here on this 4. Do y'all see that that 4 is a 4/1? So all you're really doing is flipping it and then making it negative. Well, positive to negative here, here negative to positive. Is that a little easier to understand? How are we doing on time? Okay. All right, we ready? First question. Now we're ready to start doing some examples. So the first question is this. First example here. Are these parallel, perpendicular, I'm going to put perp, or neither? If they're neither, they're called skew, but is that the way you spell neither?
Yes.
It's not I before E, except that, we talked about that last time, right? Didn't I have another word like that in here or no? Did I not have one? That's why I'm a math major. This is the exact reason why I never enjoyed English. I know some of you probably enjoy writing and reading in English. I don't care for it for exactly this reason. I was taught I before E, except after C. Anyone else taught that?
Heard that, but
I was taught I before E except after C, and then there was all these exceptions. And I was like, don't give me a rule if it's not always going to hold, right? Like it's like saying some stop signs are optional, right, when you're driving. Some of them you can stop at, and others you don't have to. Doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry?
So it's kind of true.
What is?
Choosing which stop sign.
Yeah, well, yes. So, yeah, all right, I spelt it okay. Good. I just kind of gave up on it a long time ago. All right, here we go. Are these parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So I'm going to give you two lines. Ready? So here's L1. This first example is going to be straightforward and easy. Garrett, you've already answered, but let's go for it. All right, so tell me what you're doing. Talk me through what you're doing. Why though?
Because it's not a reciprocal of 2x.
Okay, so what are you looking at? Tell me what you're focusing your attention on right now. The slope, which in the first line is what number? 2. Okay, so here, this is m1, right? m1 is 2. Okay, and then what's the slope of the other one? -2. All right, now, to be parallel, these have to be the same numbers, right? So it can't be parallel, right? To be perpendicular, they have to be negative reciprocals, which means, Garrett, what's the negative reciprocal of 2? -1/2, right? So that would have to be -1/2, which it's not, right? So it's neither. Does that make sense, everyone? You sure? No questions? Ready for another one? Same questions on this one. L1, L2. Y equals 2x plus 4. Okay, next one is, hold on, I'm trying to think of how I want this to do. All right, x plus 2y equals 5. Ooh, okay. So what's different about this problem? What's different? On L1, can you tell me the slope right now? On L1? Yes, right? You can tell me the slope on L1. Why can you tell me the slope on L1? Because this equation looks like y equals mx plus b, right? It's solved for y. You've got everything on the other side. You got a number in front of x, right? So this is guaranteed. That's your slope, right? That's your m1 is 2. But on this one, is this one solved for y? It's not, right? So it's not in that form. So you cannot tell me right now that the slope is 2. What you have to do is solve for y first. Okay, so there's a little work we have to do. So if I solve for y here, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. Get 2y equals negative x plus 5. I can't put these together. They're not like terms. And then divide both sides by 2, right? So watch what happens when I divide by 2. You have to understand that when you divide this side by 2, you're dividing each of these by 2. So you're doing negative x divided by 2 plus 5 divided by 2. Is this making sense, everyone? Sure? This is really, there's really a 1 there, right? In front of that. So that's really negative 1/2 in front of the x plus 5/2. Kylie, how's it going? Kylie, let's see. Kylie C. Good? You doing all right? Does this make sense? Whoa, oh, sorry. These masks suck, I'm sorry. Does this make sense? Solving this is no problem? So can you tell me the slope of this line then? Negative 1/2, right? That's your M2. So what do you think? Parallel? Perpendicular? Neither. Perpendicular. Good, perpendicular. Because if you take this one, think of it as 2 over 1, and then flip it and change the sign, you get this. Right? So that's exactly what you need for perpendicular. So these two lines are perp. No one has questions? Is that all right? Okay, good. Let's see if you can really put this together. I'm going to let you talk to each other on this if you want. I'd like for you to talk to each other on this. All right, let's see. Find the equation of the line which is perpendicular to x, let's go 2x plus 3y equals 12, but passes through -11. I've not done a problem like this. I'm asking to see if you can extend the ideas of what we've talked about today into this, all right? So if y'all, I would like for y'all to talk to each other. That'd be kind of nice, you know? Maybe form a little group or something. Maybe y'all can turn and talk, and y'all can turn and talk. And we'll make this worth your while. So why don't we do this like on a separate piece of paper? Put your name on it. We'll count it as a grade. You can help each other. It's like a quiz you can cheat off with each other. Sound good? Ask questions if you haven't, but I want you all to at least talk about it first. I'm going to give you all like 10 minutes, so get to it. My advice to you is to think about what I started class with, right? If you're trying to find the equation of a line, what do you need, right? What do you need to find the equation of a line, right? I'd like for y'all to work together. I mean, I know I'm asking you to be social. I apologize. I apologize. You can, come on, you can join someone. You can join.
I'm not sure what's going on. Doesn't state that they want to put the X and Y.
I'm going to step out for a minute. Usually that encourages more talking. How are you using that? Are you using that at all?
Yeah, you got the slope.
You got the slope. So you know the slope of that line there, 2x plus 3y equals 12. What's the slope of it?
Slope is 3 over 2.
3 over 2? Positive or negative?
Positive. Okay.
Sure.
Wait. Which one are you asking for?
For this one.
For the top one, it was negative 2 over 3.
Okay. All right. So you're saying, okay, so you're saying that the line you're looking for has a slope of 3 over 2.
Yeah.
Understand? Are you, yes?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out how to get it through the points.
Okay, so back up. Let's just go through this again. Let's go through this again. You're telling me you use this to find the slope that you're looking for, right? The perpendicular one, so you flipped it and changed the sign? So now the line you're looking for, you have its slope, right? And you also have its, what do we call that? What is this? A point, right? So you have the slope and so you should use the point slope formula, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all catch that? No? What were y'all doing? I'm just curious.
We were trying to. We did this.
Okay, so you solved that one for y and got a slope of negative 2/3, right?
Right.
So you know the slope of that line. That's not what you're looking for, though, right? You're looking for a different line that's perpendicular to that. So can you tell me the slope of the line you're looking for? If you know the slope of that line is negative 2/3?
Well, now that I know I got to use that, I probably can't.
No, but you can tell me this without. You just told me the slope of this is what?
That's negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3. The line you're looking for, the equation of, has to be perpendicular to this one. So can you tell me the slope of that line you're looking for?
Oh, if we're wanting it to be perpendicular,
Yeah.
it would be
3 over 2, right? Okay, so now, the line you're trying to find the equation of, you know the slope is 3 over 2. And I've given you a point on that line, right? And what is this equation called? This equation is called the point slope. This one's called the point slope formula. And it's called the point slope formula for the precise reason that you use it when you have a point on the line and the slope of the line, right? What is the slope that you have?
negative 2/3.
Nope, that's the slope of that line, right?
3 over 2.
So that's 3 over 2, right? And then this is just the point on the line you're looking for,
Right.
which I give you.
Okay.
Did y'all catch what I'm saying here? Had y'all gotten that? Y'all did get that? Did you hear what I'm saying or no? Do you have a question?
We're stuck on the point slope.
Okay. So, but are you okay with?
We finished the equation, but we don't know where to go to.
So you did this equation. I guess we can all talk about this now. But you do this equation, you solve for y, you should get negative 2/3 x and then what? Plus 4. Y'all got that? Okay. This is an equation. This is the equation of some line, right? Not the line we're looking for. We want our line to be perpendicular to that line. So here's what I can tell you right now about the line I'm looking for. Well, this line, it has to have a slope of 3 over 2 because it has to be perpendicular to this, right? So it has to have this slope, the line we're looking for. Yeah? That makes sense? Now, we have the slope, and I also gave us a point on the line we're looking for. So we can go now to this formula called the point slope formula and use it. So I can use that in this manner. I can do this. I can write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and then do y minus, well, what's the y coordinate of the point I'm given? Negative 11. Equals the slope of the line I'm trying to find. Well, it's perpendicular to that other one. It's 3/2. And then x minus, what was 7? There we go. That's the equation. x plus 11 equals 3 halves x minus 7. Questions or comments? Do y'all see how this is really, to me, this is what education is about, like learning. It's not about, okay, watch me do this, see how I do that mechanical. It's like, if I can set some framework in front of you, can you then answer something that is not exactly the same by putting the concepts together, right? So, good. I hope that kind of like, now you see, you're like, oh, okay, I get it, all right? I would never ask you a question like this on a test. In the sense, I would ask you this question, okay? But I would never ask you a question on a test that I have not gone through, all right? Things like this I do in class, where I have to make you think about it a little bit, and then come the test time, now I can give you that problem. By the way, what would change if I said parallel here instead? Okay, so what would you do? All that would change would be what here? That right there would be negative 2/3. That's the only difference, right? It's the only difference. All right, let's see what time we got. I'm not going to be able to get into functions, not thoroughly. Let's talk just briefly about, oh God, we can wait. How about I want you to do a homework assignment I'm going to give you again today. So for homework, I want you to do these problems. Don't worry about the packet. So the first thing, find equation of line through. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of problems here, all right? So I'm going to give you you're going to find different equations. First, part A, through the point 0, -1, and how about 5, 0? That's kind of a weird one. Next one, let's go -4, -3, and let's go, 5, 7. Let's do another one. I'm going to see if I can trick you on this one, all right? When you get home to do it, you'll see what I mean. See what happens. But I'm warning you, this one's going to be, you're going to have to think about it a little bit. Oh. I'm going to give you one more. Just so you can play with fractions a little bit. I just want to make sure, because on the test, if I give you one of these with a fraction, I want you to be like, man, you never gave us like that for homework. Okay, so there we go. So there's 4 different problems here, right? For each one of these, you're going to find the equation of the line through those points. Right? Equation. Just make sure you're getting the entire equation, not just the slope. Right? Any questions on that? What you need to do there? Okay. The second thing I want you to do is, let's see here. Are these parallel, perpendicular, neither? And I'm going to give you a couple of these, just maybe 2 of them. So L1, -5x plus 4y equals 20. And then L2 is 5x plus 4y equals 16. Part B, L1 is -y equals 5x minus 1. And L2 is see here. Hold on. 3x minus 15y equals 30. Understand what you're supposed to do on those? Yeah, we did like this in class, right? You're just figuring out, are these parallel? Are these two parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Are these two parallel, perpendicular, or neither? And then the last thing I want you to do is kind of like what we just did now, this last problem. I want you to find the equation of the line which is perpendicular to 5y equals, let's go 5y plus 1 equals 10x. I want to make this one a little harder for you. I'm going to challenge you all a little bit. How about we do this? Negative 2 parentheses x plus 3. And through negative 4, 8. So this problem is it's almost the exact same thing you just did together in group, except one exception, and that is you're going to have to work a little harder to figure out what the slope of this line is. Okay, you're going to have to work a little harder. Let's do this. Next class, you will turn this in, this homework assignment, you will turn it in along with the group work that you just did. You can just put them all together, okay? Make sense? And then I will take that as a grade that will somehow benefit you in some way, all right? Maybe use it as a bonus on a test or something, right? But have it ready for next time to turn in. Clear? All right. See you on Thursday. Have a great day, everyone.